Isn't the Quran says how Allah can have a son if you don't have a girlfriend? So how you say to me the Quran does not say that he is a male? Do you see it? To him, again, it's not a male, brother. It's Allah have no gender. To him is due the primary origin of the heaven and the earth. How can he is not a male, obviously, have a son? Somebody might say to you, Christian, don't you say we believe that our God, Jesus, he came to this earth as a male. No problem. You Muslims, you have no idea what you are worshipping. Jesus, our Lord, the Christ, he came as a perfect male. How can he have a son when he have no girlfriend? And even the Quran is so filthy, did not even use the word wife, use a consort, a girlfriend, sahiba. So when this Abdul, he tried to answer something, first of all, he answered nothing about the question. He's just saying to us, we favor it because it's not a male or female. This is why you use the word Allah. Well, there's many words that they are not male or female, then we can use them as Allah too. Is the word chair male or female? Continue, Abdul.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has got no gender. If you add father to God, it becomes Godfather. He's my Godfather. He's my guardian.
Okay. If you have father to God, so how the Arab they says Allah have 3 daughters? I mean, look at this city. This is silly answer. What does have to do with the question? This is what happened when you ask them an embarrassment question. They don't know. He's just making his own, you know, like, let me find a way to say something. You know, I have to say something. But this is all have nothing to do with the question. The question you should say, okay, Allah, he said, his name is Allah. Okay, but what Allah mean? They don't know. Continue.
There's nothing like Allah Abba or Allah Father in Islam.
So how you say that the God of the Christian is the same as the God of the Muslims? Because the Christian, they called God our Father. Then you will find somebody even saying to you, the Arab Christian, they use in their translation, in the Arabic translation, as the same as the Indonesian Christians, or in Malaysia, they use the word Allah, which is a false translation. But as you see, here we go, they are using false translation, and they say Allah is our Father. So the name did not prevent that from happening. Stupid. And the Arab, they say Allah have 3 daughters. So that did not prevent that from happening.
If you add a mother to God, it becomes Godmother.
Okay, well, guys, if you add mother to God. Well, here we go, you add 3 daughters to Allah. What a different. What is different? The Arab, they added 3 daughters to Allah, Al-Lat and Al-Uzza and Manat, and some they say even Manat is the wife. They are not sure which one is the wife.
There's nothing like Allah Mother or Allah Ammi in Islam. If you prefix tin before God, it becomes tin God, meaning a fake God. There's nothing like tin Allah in Islam. That's the reason we Muslims, we prefer calling Allah.
Did you see? We Muslim, we prefer to call Allah Allah. It's a prefer. Did you hear this? We prefer. So what this idiot saying, we Muslim look at names and we could not find better name than this name. We look between the words and we say, okay, well, this is the name look like this is the best between all the names. So you are worshiping a name, you do not know what the name is, just because you are saying you cannot make it male or female, you cannot make it grandfather, you cannot make it poor. I mean, what this is stupid is, what kind of religion this religion is? This is the reason. Remember, he's telling you why he is calling God Allah. And the reason is the following. But none of them is an answer for anything. And that's mean you made a choice of a word. If you find a better word tomorrow, you will dump this word and go to the other word. Continue. A bishop angers when I said Bible use. And what are you talking about?
By the Arabic word Allah. And that's the reason this word Allah is also present in most of the major religious scriptures. If you read the 6 scriptures, one of the attributes given to Almighty God is Allah. If you read the Christian Bible, in the Gospel of Mark, chapter number 15, verse 34, in the Gospel of Matthew.
Stop. Stop. Let me go there. There's no such a thing. Even the word there does not talk about God, you idiot. The guy he quote, whatever he quote, the Muslim, they put in the screen. Here we go. This is all the translation for Mark 13:34. What translation you want? And you can use even the Hebrew one. Where? What? How? But you know, when you are a liar, you say whatever you want. Here we got you busted. You don't even know how to quote correctly. Which verse you are talking about?
Chapter number 27, verse number 46. When Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, when he was put on the cross, he cried out, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani.
Eli, Eli is Allah. Abdul, it is Ili, Ili, Ili. A-L, ye, to make it my. So, Ili is a quotation from the Old Testament. El is the word which is God. It's not even a name, you idiot, you donkey. So what El have to do with Allah?
Oh God, why hast thou forsaken me?
Okay, hold on. As long as you just say that El is what Jesus said. So why you Muslim, you say that you follow Jesus too? You see, Jesus did not say Allah, he says Ili. It is you who said that, not me. So why you are following a God you do not know where? Ili is Allah, Allah? I mean, they are pretty close. Like, just a distance of 2,000 miles between them. Say that again, brother.
Cried out, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Oh God, why hast thou forsaken me? Does Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani sound like, oh God, why hast thou forsaken me? No. But if you translate into Arabic, it says, Allah, Allah, lama taraktani.
If you translate to English Arabic, you stupid translate what? This is the Hebrew, you donkey. You want to like, if you translate the Arabic, it is Allah, Allah. Anyway, let me show you another guy, and this will be the end of this video, showing you clearly that Muslims do not know what they are worshipping, and in fact they stole the name. Remember, this video is posted to me by a Muslim. A Muslim, he says to me, the meaning of Allah is in this video. The comment is there in the section in the previous video, the link posted by a Muslim, and he is the one who asked me to play this video for you. And guess what? They agree with the Christian prince that Allah is a theft, and we do not know what it's mean. Muslim says.
What does Allah mean? Allah originally comes from the word al-ilah, the Lord, the deity, the one who is worthy of being deified. But the nature of language is that over time language begins to develop. And if a word is being used again and again repeatedly, sometimes things that are not essential parts of the word may be deleted over time. So for example, in Arabic, people are known as unas. And over time, as the Arabs would say al-unas, 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 some people started to speak faster and they started to then say an-nas. Even though the original word is still used till today, people use al-unas as well. And similarly, people would essentially say al-ilah, 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 and over time, as the usage continued, al-ilah, Allah.
Hilarious! Did you hear it? Did you hear it? The people, they say al-ilah, 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 and by time it says became Allah. Okay, I will go with you then. How the name became the name of your God? Because al-ilah is the God of anybody. And those who say that word first is the pagan. So, is it you who choose the word? People, they say it's a popular word. This is what he's saying. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. And please have mercy on the Abdul. Genius. He just proved that everything Christian Prince he said is absolutely true. Muslims, they are following others. They are copying others. People say, people said, people before us said. So we copy what they said. We like what they said. We choose it because we like it. We did not make it. It's not the name of Allah. It is a name coming from somebody.
What does Allah mean? Allah originally comes from the word al-ilah, the Lord, the deity, the one who is worthy of being deified. But the nature of language is that over time language begins to develop. And if a word is being used again and again repeatedly, sometimes things that are not essential.
Abdul, it's used by who? It is used by who? Used by the infidels, the pagan. So the pagan, they use it. And then Zakir Naik explained to us how unique it is, brother. This guy, he's just saying it's not unique. By time, they make it easier. So it was al-ilah. What this guy, he said. I mean, do you see how every one of them, he give you different definition, different answer? Do you see how much confused they are? The other guy, he said to us, you cannot make it male and female when prove it to be wrong because Allah is He. Allah says, how I can have a girlfriend, which means He is He. The Arab, they call Allah have 3 daughters, so He can have children. The name will not make any difference. And now this guy is saying to you, the correct word is not Allah. It is al-ilah. But people, they want to speak it faster, so make it Allah. Did you hear it? So you must pray to al-ilah, not to Allah, or to Allah, not al-ilah. And how that became your God. And why you say it's a name then? Because based on what you said, it's a word meaning God. Where's your God name?
What does Allah mean? Allah originally comes from the word al-ilah, the Lord, the deity, the one who is worthy of being deified. But the nature of language is that over time language begins to develop. And if a word is being used again and again repeatedly, sometimes things that are not essential parts of the word may be deleted over time. So for example, in Arabic, people are known as unas. And over time, as the Arabs would say al-unas, 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 some people started to speak faster and they started to then say an-nas.
An-nas.
Even though the original word is still used till today, people use al-unas as well.
So are you saying to me that your God, Allah, He chose the word, the people, they change it? Because the word an-nas appear in the Quran. Allah is using the wrong word? Because you just said it is, the correct one is al-unas. So Allah using the word an-nas, why? Like, what? I mean, where you got those people from, for me from? I mean, you Muslims, you post those videos for me, supposedly to get me busted. And look what happened. There's a chapter in the Quran. There's a chapter in the Quran, you know. What the chapter is saying, brother? So Allah and the Muslims choose the wrong name. Here we go. It's called An-Nas. Do you see it? Isn't it, you Muslim, you say that the Quran written before all mankind exist? But you just said that the word, this is a change. So the Quran based on this is written after the change happened. This is An-Nas, not Al-Unas, as he said. The name of the Malik Nas, read it carefully. So the Quran written after the people, they changed the word. The original, the correct one is Al-Unas, he said. But people want to make it easier, so they said An-Nas. Allah is Ilahun Nas. The God of An-Nas, Allah. And I like it when the Muslim, they say that he is the God with a small capital letter in their website. Perfect, shaitan. You know, Allah is a small God. Do you see it? Not capital letter. The Muslims admit that Allah is the God of mankind as a small letter. Perfect. So this is the definition. Allah is not really a name. We don't know what this word means. They are saying to you, well, this is the word diverted from the word Al-Ilah. And imagine here, by the way, until now we did not get any official answer. Like, why Muhammad did not tell us what the word means? Why Allah did not say what the word means? We have YouTubers. Anyone can make an answer. I can make it. I can say it to you to be a tree. Where is the official answers? And now you admitted that you are stealing the words from somebody else, and this has nothing to do with your religion. Other religion, they would say Al-Ilah, Al-Ilah. So you make it, and you make it a name for your God. So you are looking for a God, and then you found a God as of your choice, the God of the Kaaba, the God of the star, the God of the moon, and you said, I'm going to call him La. And just to prove to you that what he said is stupid, more than what he's stupid, he said, I mean, the answer he said is condemning Islam anyway. But Al-Ilah, Al-Ilah, Ilah, is simply E-L, and there is little H at the end, like a sound of a music. Ilah. Still, it's Ilah. It's not Allah. It is Il. Idiot. Il. Ilah. That sound at the end, the little tiny H, it's not really even an H. It's like a music sound. They added like for something holy to make it more beautiful. It's not even part of the word. It is Il. And we just heard Zakir Naik saying that Jesus said Ili, Ili. And he said, this is Allah.
In Arabic, people are known as unas. And over time, as the Arabs would say al-unas, 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 some people started to speak faster and they started to then say an-nas. Even though the original word is still used till today, people use al-unas as well. And similarly, people would essentially say al-ilah, 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 and over time, as the usage continued, al-ilah, Allah. And the name then became Allah.
Now we know how the name become Allah. So this isn't the name of God. This is a word meaning God. And even this is a changed word. So as long it used to be something and now became something, next year it might become something else.
بالله إلا وهم مشركون. The vast majority of them, of the people, the inhabitants of earth, would not believe in Allah except while committing shirk. What is their belief in Allah Azza wa Jal? It's the same belief of the pagans and the idol worshippers. Are you serious? Yeah. The pagans and the idol worshippers used to believe that Allah is the provider, that Allah is the giver of life and death, that Allah is the creator, that Allah is the facilitator of their affairs. It's all over the Quran. If you read the Quran, don't look to scholar so-and-so different with scholar so-and-so. Go to the sources. The Quran says to us in black and white that pagans and idol worshippers believed in Allah Azza wa Jal. This is their belief, but associated others with Him through invoking them. And nowhere in the Quran, if you read it from cover to cover, that you will find a distinction or segregation between when you make dua to someone who's dead, thinking that he's capable or not capable of your intention. Dua is dua. Allah says in...
Isn't it the Quran says, Allahu wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi, and Allah and the angels praying on the Prophet? And here you find another stupid thing in this book. You see, Muhammad is a very sick person. He wanted to have all the attention. To the point, even Muhammad, he claimed that the whole world is created for the sake of him. Can you believe it? Rahim, Lahi, He. The I at the end is just like the sound, the same as the H at the end of eel, Ilah. So, what is the name of their God? Lah. The second verse, verse number 2. Alhamdu li lah. Li in Arabic mean two. Li mean two. Lah is the name of their God, as you see. That is the truth. Lah is not Allah, and this is why the Quran deleting totally the letter Alif in the beginning of the name, because it's not a name. Where the letters start, the name starts from the Lah. And now you do not need to be a genius to go to Prophet Google, peace be upon him, and search for Lah. God, Lah. Is that a coincidence that the moon God is your God? It's coming from the Sabian God? Any Muslim? This is just an article. I'm not saying I approve it or disapprove it, but just search in Google. There's tons of articles, and you check it out, and you study carefully what it is. Lah is the moon God. Actually, we have a clear reference that Allah's name is very flexible. If you remember, chapter of Yasin. Yasin. What sin mean? Allah is the God. Sin. Ya is a word mean God. Another word from the ancient Sabian language. Yasin. Ya is a word mean God. search right now for sin. Sin is the moon god. La is the moon god. Sin is the moon god, and both are in the Quran, and both of them are saying clearly that this is the God of Islam. And actually, if you ask the Muslim, what sin mean? What Yasin mean? They say Allah knows best what he meant by that. Additional proof that Islam is a forgery. They don't know. They are copying words from other religions. Tafsir al-Jalalain. Yasin. Allah knows best what he meant by those letters. But if you go right now and search for God's sin, you will find that sin is the same word you use in English for sin. Like when you say this is sin, why they say that? Because you are saying this is pagan. You are saying this is pagan, so this is sin. You're used in English today. Sin is the moon god. So wherever we go, we are surrounded by the moon god. And this is why we will find, when we speak about the moon god, right away we will find the crescent moon. What say you, Muslims? Your God is Lah. Your God is sin. Your God is pagan God. And you have no idea why those names are there. Copy, cut, paste, cult is called Islam. And because you are copy, cut, paste, you do not understand what it says. I mean, have you ever heard of a God? He says to you, Yasin. Okay, what does that mean, brother? Allah knows best, brother, what he meant by this. Because Muhammad is copying from the book of Waraq ibn Nawfal. He do not know what those things mean. I mean, if an average Muslim do not know, I understand. But if the Prophet himself do not know, that is a different story. Any Muslims? Mr. Lanoun, he is saying prince properly a princess. My friend, I know, I understand that you are in pain, and supposedly you are trying to insult me. It's okay. You know, I welcome you to insult me more. It's a blessing for me. But my friend, as long as you are talking Christian prince is properly a princess, do you want me to make a special call with me and ask me if I do put eyeliner like your prophet 3 times on my eyes a day? If I wear women clothes like your prophet every day? If I pee like a woman like your prophet every day? Are you there? And then we can find out who is the princess here. Are you there? Or maybe you can ask me, hey Christian prince, have you ever kissed your friend down his belly like the Prophet Muhammad? Is that a new tradition in the Middle East? I'm a Middle Eastern. Since when we Middle Easterns, we kiss each other down the belly? Huh? And then the guy said, oh, don't stop. This is how I like it. Oh, brother, don't stop, please. And you are talking about prince and princess. Don't go there. You are talking to Christian prince. You will be humiliated, you and your prophet. If you try to humiliate me, good for you, no problem. But remember, I know all the laundry of your prophet. So the question now, is Muhammad he or she? Muhammad taking off his shirt. The guy, he said to him, this is not fair. The prophet, he poked him under his ribs with his stick. He's tickling him. And then the guy said to him, you are wearing a shirt, but I am not. The prophet, then he raised his shirt. And then the man embraced him. And he began to kiss his side. Who is kissing who? You will say to me, oh, the man is kissing the side of the Prophet. The word kashh is the down of the belly, not the side. And why a man even kissing there? And then he starts saying, oh, Prophet, this is what I wanted. Oh, Prophet. My religion is dead, my friend. Even your Quran says, and judgment time will not come until all they believe in him, who? The Messiah. It is your religion who is dead. This is why you want to kill those who preach the gospel, because you're afraid, because you're terrified. And your prophet is dead. How you can have a religion anyway? My Christ, my Lord is alive. Your religion is dead, and your prophet too. And I can show you the hadith how he stink. The Muslim did not bury him for 3 days, 3 nights. They think that he's the same as Jesus, because he lied to them. He says, we prophet promised by Allah that our body will not decay. And then the poor Muslims, they believed him, so they did not bury him for 3 days. He said to them, pray, send your salat to me, for your salat will be presented in the front of me. They said to him, Prophet, but you will be dead. You will decay. He said, no, no. We prophet, our body don't decay. And then the reference says that the prophet قَدْ رَبَى بَطْنَهُ, which means there is belly full of fart, full of gas. You know, when a person he die and you don't clean him and he have a food, the food will start digesting. The digestion keep going even if he's dead. The bacteria will digest the food. So the belly of Muhammad became full of gas, fart. And he starts shooting left and right. So Ibn Abbas says, قَدْ رَبَى بَطْنَهُ اِدْفُنُوا صَاحِبَكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ يَأْسَنُ كَمَا يَأْسُنُ الْبَشَرِ. Bury your friend, he stink like the human stink. So you are following a stinky prophet according to your books. And we are following the living Messiah according to your book too. And you are talking about who is dead. Weak hadith. This is weak hadith? Okay, it's weak hadith. That's it. I don't know. As I know that weak hadith is a weak argument according to the Sheikh Hamza. You know, when the Muslims, they say, by the way, weak hadith, they are saying to us that we Muslims will lie about our prophet. And we put a lot of lies in our book. We are a bunch of liars. We lie about Muhammad. Don't believe in what we say to you in our books, because we lie all the time. That's what they mean. They're trying to say to you, this is a lie. Okay, but who wrote the lie? Muslims. Who printed the lie? Muslims. Who accepted the lies? Muslims. So if it's a lie, why it's there? Muslims. Okay. And anything is embarrassment to Islam, they say it's a lie. It's a lie, brother. Hey, Abdul, first of all, I thought Salat should go to God. Why your Salat will be given to Muhammad? Is he God? Look, you pray now, your prayer is not going to Allah. It's going to Muhammad in the grave. Brother, is that true? And by the way, just to show you the stupidity of this cult, read carefully, and this is Sahih Hadith. I mean, have you ever heard of religion and followers? Their prophet said to them, don't write the Hadith. And then they write down, don't write the Hadith. Read carefully. The prophet said, who? Allah Messenger said, don't take down, don't write down anything from me. And he who took down anything from me, except the Quran, he should efface it. Efface that narrative from me. Okay, and then you write this. The guy, he just said to you, don't write what I say, only Quran. And then they write, the prophet said, don't write what we say. He just said to you, don't write it down. Don't write down what I say. And what do? You write down, the Prophet says, don't write down what I say. So all the hadith, according to Muhammad, should not be written. Do you know why? Because Muhammad, people, they start reminding him of what he said. He cannot repeat the same lie twice correctly. In the first lie, he said 4. In the second lie, he said 10. In the third lie, the same story, but he cannot repeat the same story twice. Hey, Prophet, which floor you used to live in? The 3rd floor. Prophet, but last week you said you are on the 10th floor. Okay. From now on, don't write down what I say, okay? So all the book of hadith should not be written then. And this is Sahih. According to the direction of his camel. Well, my friend, the Muslim, they will say to you, well, he's praying, doesn't matter, you know, because the Quran says wherever you will put your face, you know, it's not worth it for me. Hit the head of the snake. Don't waste your time. Do we have any Muslim want to say anything? Now listen to me. Don't download my videos. And then by the time I finish my speech, I will find like 100 if you downloaded the video, and they will make the title. Christian Prince, he said, don't download the video, okay? This is so beautiful. Genius. This is the proof that following Muhammad make you genius. So all those books behind those Abduls is a joke. Your Prophet forbidding you from, and they say to you, we are Muslim Sunni, following the order of the Prophet. No, you don't. And you know what? Thank God you did not, because all the garbage about Muhammad is here. So if we have only the Quran is a very confusing, stupid book. There's nothing in the Quran. Like flying carpet. Solomon, he heard the ant, and the ant, she said to her friends, hey ants, hide, otherwise Solomon will kill you. What is killing me, I mean, how the ant, she knew the name of the King Solomon. I mean, you know what, you got to respect the ants. I mean, how in the world, she is an ant, but she knew the name of the King Solomon. You see how famous this guy was? And there's no social media at that time, brother. How she knew his name? It's very amazing. I feel like converting to Islam now. When Solomon, he arrived to the Valley of the Ants. Is that in California? Huh? Where is the Valley of the Ants? Is that in California? As I know, there's ants everywhere. But look like the ants, they have their own territory and state, the Valley of the Ants. Till when they come to the Valley of the Ants, one of the ants, look at the details, look, one of the ants, not all the ants, just one only. They have only one ant in charge of alarm, like alarm, alarm, alarm. As I know, they have the colony, each colony, they have thousands of ants for alarm. One of the ants, she said. What about the rest? They were asleep. Oh, ants, enter your dwelling. And I saw some videos, hilarious. They say, in Arabic, it says Namla. And science discover that the word Namla, sorry, the one who in charge of alarm is a female. And Namla is a female. So how Allah, he knew this, you idiot. In Arabic, we say female for all those insects, regardless if they have balls or not. So when there are many, we call them naml. When it is one, we say namla, idiot. We don't check the balls of the ants. Hashara, insect, it's a female. Any individual, we add T to it. Idiot. But anyway, this is the good story, brother. Here you learn history, and Darwin, he should start from here, the idiot Darwin. The ant, she said to the other ant, and look how, what we learn from this story. And then Sulaiman, he smiled. At her speech, the ant, she made a speech. As I know, the ant don't talk. They communicate, yes. I mean, we can say they talk, but they don't talk really speech. They communicate by vibration and chemical. That's it. And the funny, that Allah, he taught Sulaiman the language of the birds. And yet, he understands the language of the ants. And then Sulaiman, he went, I don't want to change the topic, but just to show you a cartoon before we finish. For how long we are here now? 2 hours? 2 hours. 1 hour? How many hours we are here? 2 hours and 29? Okay, still short, still short. Good news, good news. This is a short video of a conference. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, lillah, brother. Lillah, li. Alhamdulillah. Genius. So, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, Islam is a joke, and there's no question about that. And as you see, we challenge them to tell us what Allah means, and none of them can tell us. They are saying to us, this is a word diverted from something else. So how you say this is the name of God? How you say this is a name then? They don't know who is their God. All what they know that Allah have 2 hands in the right side of his shoulder. He have a shin. He have a face. He have eyes. But don't ask more questions. They don't know who they are worshipping. How Allah look like? Maybe we should make our coming video about this topic. How Allah look like?
Okay, the second question of Rami was when people pray and say, oh Allah Azza wa Jal, grant us the ability to see your face in paradise. Or when someone prays to you and says, may Allah Azza wa Jal allow you to see Allah's...
And by the way, this is a serious program now, because usually Islamic program, the question is very silly. Like, brother, is it okay if I eat ice cream with my fiancée, or she became my sister if we drink the same, if we eat the same ice cream? Or other caller, she would say, brother, is it okay to shave my underarm? I'm a female and I am 17. This is life on air. Or you might find a woman, she is horny, say, when I take off, listen to this. Once a Muslim woman, she called a sheikh live on TV. I wish at that time I have a program to record it. She said, Assalamu alaikum, you know, and there's 2 sheikhs, and the woman, she is like making some noises which you don't want to hear, and the sheikh, they start sweating. Brother, when I take off my clothes in the front of the fish tank, the fish, they start shaking. What? The fish in the fish tank, they are shaking? What? The sheikh, he drank the water. I'm not going to make the voice of the women, because you know what I'm talking about. Obviously, she is not a good person. I mean, I don't know. She is making fun of them. I have no idea. So the sheikh, he drank the water. The other one is sweating. He says, sister, I think a sister, you have to, from now on, don't take off your clothes in front of the fish tank, because the fish are looking at your beautiful, pure body. And they have a genie. Genie in the fish. It's true. Muslims believe in that. So there's a genie inside the fish, is a male genie. When this female, she take off her panty or her clothes, like she go crazy. You know, like, you know. So please don't take off. And then she said to them, the woman, I cannot tell you, sorry, I cannot do that because I have only one room. Oh, the guy, he starts sweating more now. He said, okay, sister, don't you have a blanket? Cover the fish tank by the blanket. I mean, look how serious the topic is. At least here they are talking about how Allah look like. But usually, the conversation is so low. Very low. Okay, tell us more about Allah.
Azza wa Jal. He's the creator of the all, what you see. And
Like, yeah, he is the creator of all what I see. That's it. It's proven. Exactly. That's why he says the sperm coming from the backbone of the man, and women have a sperm coming from their ribs.
what you do not see. And he's not created. And he does not die. And he does not have an ending. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's it. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So Allah described in the Quran that he has a face. Allah described in the Quran that he has two hands. When he addressed Iblis, Satan, and he told him, what?
Hold on. There's a guy, his name is Mimi. He said, who said so? And there's a guy in the comment, he says, I wish to see you debating Mimi so he can end your career. Abdul, we end his career a long time ago. The Tits boy. Mr. Tits.
Prevented you from prostrating to what I have created with my two hands.
Two hands.
So this is what Allah described himself. Allah says in Surah Al-Qalam that on the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal would uplift and show his leg.
You know what? I have to admit, I have a weakness when it's come to legs. But I wonder if the God, he will show his leg. Which leg is going to be more beautiful? A leg of a woman or the leg of Allah? As long as the Muslim, they keep calling him he, I'm telling you from now, I prefer to see a leg of a woman. I mean, like, come on. It is he. So why in the world Allah is showing us his leg? Do any Muslim have an idea? It is he. Anyone? So it is he, and he is going to show us his leg. I cannot imagine how the legs of Allah look like, but I got a picture. So Allah have two hands. For sure is not spider, because spider don't have two hands. Allah have 5 fingers. For sure is not spider. Spider have no fingers. Allah have a shin. Spider have many shin. So who is Allah? Who is this God you worship? You are confused about his name. You are confused about his look. Okay, he have 2 hands. Where are they? And when you say he have hands, why he need them? You see, Jesus come to this earth as a man. Okay, he is, between us as a man, so he do what men do. He have hands, he grab with them things. Okay. Allah have hands for what? You see, the Muslim, they say to us, the Quran says, if Allah wants something to happen, they say, be and it's going to be. So what the hands for? Is it metaphorical? No. The guy is saying clearly those are not metaphorical. He have 2 hands. So maybe we should make the second video after this. Or maybe I'm trying, I'm thinking to make it like a series about what this mean, like maybe next video I will make what Israel mean. Hey Muslims, what Israel mean? The Quran keeps saying Israel, Israel. By the way, look at this spider. I'm confused. Which one is this eyes? Yeah, 4 eyes, this guy. Like, what the heck? What happened to you, Gali? Huh? Let us ask Joe Biden what happened to the spider. Hey, Joe Biden, president, what happened to the spider? You know the thing? Oh, okay. I mean, look how short the answer and how sharp. That is Muhammad. You know the thing. Allah knows best. So Allah have hands, Allah have legs, Allah have a shin, and Allah will show his shin. Why? Like, what is the occasion exactly? Striptease days? The day of stripping? Why Allah want to show his shin? And look how excited he is to describe for you how Allah look like.
In Surah Al-Qalam, that on the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal would uplift and show his leg. وَيُكْشَفُ عَنْ سَاقٍ وَيُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ. And they are called to prostrate, and everyone prostrates except the hypocrites. All the believers would prostrate, and the hypocrites...
Only the hypocrite, brother. Only the hypocrite. They will not prostrate. Do you prostrate to Allah? No, I don't. You are a hypocrite.
will try to prostrate, and their back goes one.
My back feel one piece, to be honest with you. Okay.
Peace, and they will be thrown into hell. Allah tells us about himself subhanahu wa ta'ala that he has an eye. The Prophet tells us that the Prophet...
He have an eye? One eye? Or how many eyes? Man, look, what? Allah has an eye? I mean, do you see how much they knew about their God? Allah has an eye. Do Allah close his eye? Do Allah sleep? Maybe Allah is like a alligator. He never closes his eyes. Okay.
That Allah Azza wa Jal has fingers. When he says, "Oh Allah, the hearts are between two of your fingers, you flip them as you wish."
Between two of your fingers? How many he have? So this is what you know about your God. He have fingers? Please answer me, please. Is the hadith of Ibn Mas'ud where some force looking men rode him all night, even he is recited it true? I'm not sure what do you mean. Looking what? Looking men rode him? I don't know. I don't understand your question, Ben Yahudi. Your English is like mine, my friend. It's messed up, you know. I could not get it. Or maybe because my English is not good, I could not get your question. What do you mean? So I just see the Muslims, they have no idea what they are worshipping. You know, they are guessing. Allah have, you know, they look here in what Muhammad said. There's two hands, there's 5 fingers, you know. He have a shin, his magnificent, beautiful leg. Actually, this is one of my favorite videos. When the guy says Allah have magnificent, beautiful leg, shin. Let us see.
Everyone on it will perish.
This guy, he added the music to the video. He's, you know, he destroyed it. Don't add those music for those videos. It doesn't make sense anyway. Let us see this one here.
Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, the Prophet's companion, said that Prophet Muhammad once said, the meaning of the saying, the Prophet, Allah's hand is ever full. Now he used the word Yadullah mil'a. Now why do the translation here we use the word hands? Because Allah also talk about himself. Yadullah fawqa aydihim. The hand of Allah is above their hands. But how do the hand of Allah look like? Don't imagine.
Don't imagine, brother. Brother, don't imagine. Stop. You cannot imagine. Allah have a hand. But how the hands of Allah look like? Don't imagine. It's haram. And there's a guy saying that Christian Prince is destroyed. My friend, all of you destroy me, as you see. But none of you dare to call me. I mean, do you see how easy to destroy Christian Prince, making videos about him? But where is the ones who can call me and show me that? Here we go. I have 1,400 people listening, and none of you. Let me open my palto. Even though I was planning to go soon, but I will give you an extension time, so maybe you can get me busted, brother. I will open my palto for any decent Muslims who can destroy me. Who wanna do that? Mayday, mayday. Destruction time. But the heroes, they make videos about me. Okay, this is for my good, because all of you Muslims come to me because Muslims keep talking about me, but nobody dare to debate me. But all of you can destroy me for sure. I mean, you are the winner always. Here we go. I'm logging in my pal talk now. Huh? Bingo, I am in pal talk. Who is the Muslim feel like destroying me? Can I join you? No. Guys, only Muslims, please text me. Only if you are a Muslim. Bluebird, my friend is a Muslim. He wanna call me. Let him call me. Let him text me. Text me first, because you cannot call me right away. Text me first, and I will call you immediately if you are a Muslim only. Do we have any Muslim would like to call me and tell us what his thought about what we just said about Allah? Anyone? Who is a Muslim? He will have a golden chance, opportunity to destroy me in front of 1,400 people watching. Anyone? My pal talk is open. Just text me and I will call you immediately. In the speed of Allah. Speed of Allah, that's not good. It take Allah 50,000 years, 1,000 years to send the angels and 1,000 years to come back. So how Muhammad was receiving the messages if it take them 2,000 years to go back and go up down? Any Muslim? Yeah, we have 1,400 people watching, but we have only 950 likes. You hate me, don't you? Who is a Muhammadan would like to give me a call? See, if I am a person who have a blue eyes, American, you remember the guy from the Philippines says, I debated a real American. You are not real American. Like he's supposed to, like, he debated real American, man. Real American. I mean, look, listen carefully. He debated a real American. You are not real American, you have an accent. That's what he said to me. And actually, this is why they're afraid to debate me, because I have an accent. I am an Arab, I speak Arabic. I debated real American. Like, what? Real American? What this have to do with... What? So my pal talk is open. Let me see, I have one text. No, this is not the text. Any Muslim? Just text me. Just say I'm a Muslim, I will call you. Nobody. Until now, there's nobody, sadly. Honestly, guys, if you have any Muslim sheikh, especially sheikh with the long beard, if you can ask them to come and join us, I will speak to them nicely, with respect, you know. We speak to the person, depending on what he deserves. If he is a rude, if you want to be filthy, this is your business. But people who they are respectful, we will speak to them in a better, even respect. I am a Christian, but I want to tell you that that God is not a sexual being, so he does not have specific gender. But I do agree that when he come to the earth, he come the form of the sun. Genius. Okay, thank you. We did not say that God have a gender. This is not what we said. When we believe that Jesus is the Son of God, we don't believe that God the Father have sex. So don't be silly. Do we have any Muslim? Anyone? Who is a Muslim would like to give me a text and I will call you immediately. Anyone? And if you don't want to talk about the topic we're talking about, feel free. Anything about Islam, Muhammad. Who want to call us to tell us how Muhammad is a prophet of God? Who want to do that? Who is a true believer? He believes Muhammad is a prophet. And he can share with us what make him a prophet and what make Allah God. Anyone? Choose whatever you want topic about your religion. I will be happy. Who is this Allah? Do you Muslims know? All what you say to us, he's the creator. Well, all religion, they say there's the God they worship, he's the creator. Do you have a proof that Allah is really the creator, the real creator? Because there's many that claim that creation belong to them, Do you Muslims have any proof of such a thing? Because talk is cheap. Proving it is something wrong, different, Anyone? They claim they're I don't understand. Ibadat. I don't know what you mean. Sometimes I feel better about my English when I see some other English. So do we have any Muhammadan would like to call us? And I will speak to you nicely as usual. Unless you are rude, you try to put me down as a person, trust me, I will unleash the Middle Eastern inside me. I am a Middle Eastern. Don't go there. You want to be nice, I will be nicer than you. You want to be rude? Give it a try. Any Muslims? Who is a person who have a beard, big beard? I like big beard, big beard, very nice, I have a big beard too. We can put it next to each other, see like which beard is longer. And the longer one, we can use it as a towel. Because your beard doesn't make any difference anyway. I mean, you grow up, all of them, they grow a beard. Zakir Naik is trying to grow a beard, by the way, but sometimes it's not growing. He used fertilizer, it's still not working. Do you have time to teach us what the Quran means by uncreated? No problem. Let us make a question to the Muslims. Hey Muslims, what do you Muslims mean when you say the Quran is not created? As you see, there's somebody here is interested to know what you Muslims mean when you say the Quran is not created. Let us put your question for you on the screen. Thank you for the question. So now we are done with the topic, and those who want to download the video, please feel free to cut that part where we speak about Allah, who is Allah, etc. And now let us go here. And this is the question for Muslims. You see, the second you ask such a question to the Muslims, Muslims are so good to ask them questions like, can we eat ice cream? Is it halal? Those are, everybody volunteer to answer them. Is curry halal made by the Hindus? Brother? What? Is the Hindu curry, brother, the curry made by the Hindu is halal? Like, what? It's a curry. Brother, is it okay to sit in the toilet seat and the toilet seat is facing the Kaaba? No, brother, haram. So all those silly questions, they are so good in answering them. The second you ask serious a question, they are not there. So now the question is, this is a very serious question. What the Muslims mean when they say the Quran is uncreated? Any Muslim can tell us? Because by saying that the Quran is uncreated, now we have Allah, according to Muslims, is not created, right? What make Allah divine according to Muslims? Because he is not created. That's wonderful. Quran is not created, not even by Allah. So it's created by who? Never been created. So we have to divine. Anyone? You see, I'm giving you Muslims the question so you can help us. There's a sheikh. He claimed the Quran is created. Do you know what they did to him? The caliphate, he brought him in the day of Eid. He tied him up in the mosque and he slaughtered him. He said, today we are not going to sacrifice a sheep. We are going to sacrifice this man. What is his crime? Because he said the Quran is created. So if the Quran is not created, and Allah is not created, so now we have two divine. How that can be? Anyone? Do we have any Indonesian Ustad? There was, I missed this guy. Too bad he died. The guy who promised me 5 BMW. I wish they did not die, because I wanted to save his soul. This poor man, he will go to hell following Muhammad. He promised me 5 BMW. TP. What's his name? What's his name? I forgot his name. What's his name? Ustaz what? Insane? Insane. Yeah, Ustaz Insane. Insan, sorry, Insan. I'm getting pal talk. We can set up a talk, no problem. Are you a Muslim, Mr. Preston? Only Muslims, they can contact me. Remember, don't contact me if you are a Christian. And those Christians who contact me in Patreon, please don't contact me unless it is necessarily. Remember, I have tons of people, they keep, I mean, you can, I really would love to give you all the time I can, but for me, I prefer to answer questions asked in public, so everybody get the benefit of the answer, not one individual. And I'm not good in writing emails. It takes too much time. while answering you here. As you see, I'm giving you all the time. I mean, how many hours you want? Have you ever heard of somebody stay with you for 5 hours non-stop until his voice is gone? I used to stay even 12 hours.
According to a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, Allah created Adam as a duplicate of himself. Narrated Abu Huraira, Muhammad said, Allah created Adam in his complete shape and form, 60 cubits, about 30 meters, in height. In spite of statements like this littered throughout Islam's authoritative sources, many people think the Islamic deity is a supratemporal, spaceless, and immaterial being. However, this popular but fault-ridden idea has nothing to do with what Muhammad originally taught, and everything to do with what later Muslims, especially under the influence of Greek philosophy, came to believe must be true of Allah if he's to be taken as the uncreated creator of time, space, and matter. In a previous video, I looked at surahs 42:11 and 112:4, since it's often claimed that those passages trump the vast body of evidence, no pun intended, that the Islamic Allah is a corporeal being, just like he was in the pagan pantheon, when Muhammad, in a game of religious duck-duck-goose, singled him out as the only god with whom he'd run around the Kaaba. Having shown that those passages are not contrary to the idea that Muhammad's false god had a body, in this video I'll show that Surah 112 actually supports it. According to Muslim heresiologists, a number of early Muslims are known to have believed that Allah has a body, the upper half of which is hollow, in other words has a mouth and chest cavity, while the lower half is solid, in other words has no stomach cavity or opening in the rear. For instance, the following source tells us about the view of a Muslim named Hisham bin Salim al-Jawaliki. He claimed that what he worshipped is in the form of a man, but without being flesh and blood, that is, like ours, that his deity is made of a diffused white light. He claimed that his deity has 5 senses and has hands, feet, eyes, ears, nose, mouth. He claimed that his upper half is hollow and the lower half is solid, and that his object of worship has black hair, being made of black light, whereas the rest is made of white light. Speaking of another early Muslim named Dawood al-Jawaribi, the same source tells us, he said his deity is a body in the form of a human with flesh and blood, and said his upper half is hollow and lower half is solid, that he has curly hair. However, he claimed it is a body unlike the bodies, and flesh unlike the fleshes, and blood unlike the bloods. Apparently, al-Jawaribi's openness to discuss Allah's body had its limits, for as Ali Shah points out, there were some things that al-Jawaribi wouldn't talk about. He quotes him as saying, "Do not question me about the pudendum or the beard, but you may ask me about anything else." If you're wondering what a pudendum is, it refers to Allah's gonads. While we could certainly have a ball discussing Allah's gonads, at this point you're probably wondering what all of this has to do with the actual meaning of Surah 112. In order to answer that question, we need to do a little digging. We need to do the hard work that Muslims, aided and abetted by their imams and apologists, refuse to do. First, to refresh your memory, here's what Surah 112 says, at least according to some translations. Say, He is Allah, the one and only, Allah, the eternal, absolute. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, and there is none like unto him. The words Allah, the eternal, absolute, in the second verse of this surah, represent the Arabic phrase Allahu as-Samad. The word Samad is what's known as a hapax legomenon, which means it's a word that only occurs once in the Quran. As many scholars have pointed out, the meaning of this word, Samad, became increasingly unclear to Muslims after the time of Muhammad, and was given more definitions than Muhammad had wives. For instance, Joseph von S., the professor of Islamic Studies and Semitic languages at the University of Tübingen, stated, "Between the assertion of God's unity with which this surah starts and the sentence that he is not begotten nor was begotten himself, God is described by a strange and striking predicate, a word which is a hapax legomenon in the Quran and has not lost its enigmatic character until today." Likewise, Franz Rosenthal, professor emeritus of Arabic at Yale, stated the following concerning this word: "It has a long and varied history behind itself, both in Islam and in Western scholarship, but its meaning has not yet been fixed with any certainty." As well, Dr. Christos Similaitis, who was a senior scholar at Merton and Somerville College, wrote, "The meaning of this word is far from clear. In fact, it is a well-known linguistic puzzle in the text of the Quran." One quick and easy way to see the confusion that exists over the meaning of this word is simply by noting the many different ways it's been translated, even by Muslim translators. Yusuf Ali, the eternal, absolute; Muhammad Pickthall, the eternally besought of all; Wahiduddin Khan, the self-sufficient one; Ahmed Ali, the imminently indispensable; Ali Kali Karai, the all-embracing; the monotheist group, the indivisible; Hassan al-Fatih Karabullah, the called upon. The reason this word has proven to be so problematic, leading later Muslims to assign various meanings to it, is because the original and literal meaning of the word is solid, not hollow, or having no cavity or open space. In fact, that's exactly how it's rendered in the translation of Bijan Moinian. God is solid. This definition and interpretation of the meaning of samad is borne out by several lines of evidence. For the sake of brevity, I'll just mention 3, and you're not going to want to miss the last one. First, according to the science of Quranic interpretation, in order to know the meaning of a given passage of the Quran, one must know the occasion, reason, or causes for which it was given. For instance, in his Uzul at-Tafsir, Bilal Phillips wrote, "Knowledge of the reasons for revelation is of great importance to understanding the Quran, as well as many of the Islamic laws contained in it." So, what was the occasion or reason that provoked Muhammad to utter the words of Surah 112? According to the tafsir or commentary of Sayyid Abu Ala Maududi, Surah 112 was Muhammad's response to a question that a representative of the polytheists put to Muhammad. He records the following report. Amir bin at-Tufail said to Muhammad, "O Muhammad, what do you call us to?" Muhammad replied, "To Allah." Amir said, "Then tell us of what he is made, whether of gold, silver, or iron." Thereupon this surah was sent down. Maududi records other reports, as do other Muslim scholars, and they all come down to the same basic question. Does Allah have a material makeup? Is he composed of some tangible substance? It shouldn't be hard to see that the translation, which most directly and naturally answers the question put to Muhammad by the pagans, is that of Bijan Moinian. God is solid. A second and even more conclusive line of evidence that supports this translation can be found in Al-Tabari's tafsir of Surah 112, where he cites 27 reports that tell us the meaning of the word samad, the vast majority of which tell us that it means solid, or not hollow. Most significantly, not only do many of the reports go back to early Muslims in whose language the Quran was originally given, as well as to many of Muhammad's closest companions, but he even records a report that goes back to Muhammad himself. According to the following narration, a man named Buraida said, "I do not know about this word except that I asked Muhammad, who said, As-Samad is the one who has no hollowness." A third and final line of evidence, which by itself is worth the price of admission, concerns the creation of Adam. Because Allah created Adam in his shape and form, as we've already seen, this created no little confusion for the angels. even though Allah told them in advance that he was going to make man in his shape and form. When he eventually did so, he first created Adam as a lifeless statue. And when the angels came upon Adam, they couldn't tell the difference between him and Allah, for which reason they were scared. That is, until Iblis, Satan, in a stroke of genius, decided to do a little investigating. According to Musa bin Harun, Amr bin Hamad, Asbat al-Sudi, Abu Malik and Abu Salah, Ibn Abbas, also al-Sudi, Murra al-Hamdani, Ibn Masud and some other companions of Muhammad, Allah said to the angels, I am creating a human being from clay. When I have fashioned him and blown some of my spirit into him, fall down in prostration before him. Allah created him with his own hands, lest Iblis become overbearing toward Adam, so that Allah could say to Iblis, You are overbearing towards something I have made with my own hands, which I myself was not too haughty to make. So Allah created Adam as a human being. He was a body of clay for 40 years, the extent of Friday. When the angels passed by him, they were frightened by what they saw. The angel most frightened was Iblis. He would pass by him, kick him, and thus make the body produce a sound, as potter's clay does. Then he would say, What were you created for? He entered his mouth and left from his posterior. Then he said to the angels, Don't be afraid of that one, for your Lord is solid, whereas this one is hollow. When I am given authority over him, I shall ruin him. In other words, because Adam was hollow, as proven by the sound emitted when Satan kicked him, and by the fact that Satan was able to enter his mouth and exit through his rear, Satan or Iblis discovered that it wasn't Allah. Apparently, the Islamic Satan and angels all knew that you can enter Allah's mouth, but you can't get out of his butt. Lord willing, I'll have more to say about Allah's body, including his genitals, but for now, the next time a Muslim tells you that his God is immaterial, timeless, and spaceless like the God of the Bible, do Allah a solid and point them to this video. Ibn Khuzaymah, one of the greatest hadith scholars in the history of Islam, someone often referred to by Muslims as the Imam of the Imams, once made the following statement. If Allah does not have eyes, nor ears, nor hand, nor foot, then what we are worshipping is a watermelon. Ibn Khuzaymah said this because, according to him and what scholars refer to as the early traditionist school of Islam, fidelity to the Islamic sources, which teach that Allah has shape and form and so forth, demands that such terms be understood according to their apparent meanings, or literal sense. If early Muslims like Ibn Khuzaymah are right, then popular Muslim arguments against the incarnation, which is usually misrepresented as belief in a man who's been deified, actually need to be redirected to the original teachings of Muhammad and his pagan followers. After all, according to the Orthodox Christian doctrine of the Incarnation, Christ is an eternally divine person who took upon himself or into union with himself a human nature in time, and as a result of that is one person with two natures, deity and humanity. But since Allah, according to the Quran and Hadith, never became incarnate, then the ascription to him of attributes like hand, feet, face, and so forth would have to apply to his allegedly eternal nature. To put it simply, if this earlier view is true, and over the course of several videos I'll argue that it basically is, then the Islamic deity is a man-god. Some Muslims try to predetermine how this question is answered by appealing to two verses of the Quran that they believe preclude interpreting statements about Allah's body or bodily appendages according to their apparent meanings or literal sense. And so before looking in subsequent videos at statements that speak directly to the issue, something first has to be said about these two passages. The verses in question are Surah 42:11 and 112:4. According to Surah 42:11, there's nothing like him, that is, like Allah. And according to Surah 112:4, there's none like unto him. Those who appeal to these passages tell us that they demand taking every statement in the Quran or in the Hadith that speak of Allah's face, fingers, foot, etc., no matter how clear, no matter how graphic such verses or narrations might be, in a figurative or allegorical way. For instance, Ibn al-Jawzi, a 12th century Muslim writing against predecessors in his own madhab or school of thought, made the following statement in an attempt to brush aside the large number of Quranic verses and Hadith narrations about Allah's anatomy. All these, even if their outward expressions suggest likening God with creation, yet what is meant by them is the affirmation of his existence. And since the law knows full well of the illusions that may arise in the hearts upon hearing them, it cut through these illusions by stating, "There is nothing like him." Quran 42:11. In other words, according to Ibn al-Jawzi, since Surah 42:11 says there's nothing like Allah, any passage that speaks of Allah's shape, form, face, and so forth must be understood as affirming simply that Allah exists and not that he actually has the attributes ascribed to him. A more recent example of this kind of approach can be seen in the words of Sheikh Mohammed Hisham Kabani, who wrote the following. As shown in the excerpts, the priority was to repel false understandings and prevent the pitfall of attributing to Allah the characteristics of creation. Again and again, the paradigm that is the entire foundation for understanding Allah and his attributes is there is nothing like him whatsoever. Essentially, what al-Jawzi and Kabani are saying is that their understanding of these two passages, which goes against the tide of what earlier Muslims believed about Allah and his attributes, must be made paradigmatic for the interpretation of any and every other statement in the Quran and Hadith on this issue. However, there are at least half a dozen problems with this approach. First, this approach arbitrarily assigns priority to two passages of the Quran over and against other passages, which essentially allows a person to ride roughshod over those other passages no matter how clearly they might speak to the issue. But why give these two passages the priority rather than others? Second, this method is exegetically unsound, for as all good exegetes know, the possibility of misunderstanding what a couple of statements mean is greater than the possibility of misunderstanding the overall testimony of many clear statements. Third, and closely related to the previous problem, given that there are hundreds of statements about Allah having a face, hands, etc., as we'll see, the idea that two passages of the Quran speak clearly to this issue while hundreds of others do not contradicts the Quran's own claim that it's a clear book in which everything is exhaustively detailed or explained. This would mean, at least on this issue, most of the statements in the Islamic sources are unclear, and most of the detail that Allah gives is virtually useless. Fourth, this approach assumes in advance that the Quran is not equivocal or inconsistent in what it teaches, saying in one place what it contradicts in another. But this, of course, is question-begging, an elementary logical fallacy. Fifth, these passages are actually easy to explain in a way that perfectly comports with the idea that Allah is an embodied being. For instance, the statement in Surah 42:11 is simply saying that Allah is not one of a pair, that is, he doesn't have a mate. Notice the context in which the relevant statement appears in Surah 42:11. Originator of heaven and earth, he has granted you spouses from among yourselves, as well as pairs of livestock, by means of which he multiplies you. There is nothing like him. He is the alert, the observant. Quran 42:11. In other words, Allah has no spouse or mate, like men and animals do. This has nothing to do with the idea that Allah is a formless being without parts or passions. Similarly, when Surah 112:4 says there's nothing like Allah, in context it's simply saying that Allah has no ascendant or descendant. He neither begets nor is begotten. It has nothing to do with the issue of whether or not Allah is the kind of being who has a body and limbs. Say, He is Allah, the One, Allah, the Eternal. He neither begat nor was begotten, and there is none like Him. Consider a conceivable parallel. If Adam, who was not begotten by anyone before him, were not given a wife so as to beget a child, then there would be no one like him either. But this wouldn't mean that Adam did not have a body. By the same token, the fact that Allah neither begets nor is begotten and is therefore unique doesn't mean that Allah is not an anthropomorphic being. Sixth, and finally, the Quran makes a similar comment elsewhere about the wives of Muhammad. In Surah 33:32, which has the same grammatical formation, it says the following: Wives of the Prophet, you are not like any other woman. Obviously, the statement, you are not like any other woman, does not mean that Muhammad's wives didn't have bodies like other women. In conclusion, since it is arbitrary, methodologically unsound, contrary to the Quran's own claim of being a clear book, begs the question and so forth, to appeal to Surah 42:11 and 112:4 in order to decide the matter in advance, we will look at Islam's trusted sources in order to see if the deity of Muhammad and his original followers was a being with body and bodily appendages, or if he was a watermelon. And just to give you a brief list of what we'll see in the Quran and Hadith, here's a foretaste. We will see that Allah has a shape, face, eyes, ears, 2 right hands, palms, fingers, fingertips, chest, waist, side, a shin, and a foot. We will also see that He has dimensions, mass, weight, for which reasons Allah is able to screen Himself with a veil, live in a house, look out over a watchtower, plant trees, ascend and descend, run, shake hands, skim people's backs, and all of that is just skimming the surface.
Muhammadan, is it true that your God Allah is created from the sweat of a horse? Hello? If we ask Zakir Naik if this is true or not, what he will say? Dr. Zakir Naik, here there is a brother is asking, is it true that Allah He created Himself from the sweat of a horse? We have a Muslim caller, let us see.
Assalamu alaikum.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hold on, let me be sure that. All right, how are you, Mr. Truth?
I am good. How are you,
Wa
brother?
alaikum assalam. I'm fine. Did you hear me saying that Allah He is created from the sweat of a horse?
Yes, I want a reference for that if you don't mind, brother.
Okay. But you heard that before or never?
No, never.
Oh,
I would be amazed. I'm amazed right now. I'm shocked. I don't think there's
well,
anything.
here we go.
Let
me. Here we go. I just open it. This is
Right.
Lisanul Mizan. Do you see my screen?
In second, brother. Yes.
Okay. Lisanul Mizan. You speak Arabic, right?
No.
No. So how we can? Okay, hold on. Let us. Let me then try
I'm
to.
I'm not Arab, man.
Huh?
I'm Muslim.
I know you are a
I'm not
Muslim,
Arabic.
but you are not an Arab, right? You are saying not Arab. Okay,
No,
hold
I'm
on.
not Arabic.
Okay. Okay, you know what? I will show it to you in Arabic first, and then I'm going to click the translation of Google. And but you know, Google is not really very much good. You know, read with me. إن الله لما أراد أن يخلق نفسه خلق الخيل فأجراها حتى عرقت ثم خلق نفسه من ذلك العرق. Translation. I will click.
Yes.
English translation. All right.
Right.
It says, he said here, he kept it as talk that God did not want to create himself. He created horses, so he made them sweat, and then he created himself from their sweat, not their race. This is a stupid translation of Google. Do you see it?
Let me see.
And for sure, by the way, the Muslim, they will say, we reject this hadith. We don't accept this hadith, brother.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. Don't worry.
No. I'm telling you, I mean, even how the idea come to their head, you see, there is no smoke without fire. Is that correct?
Yes.
So why a scholar, he will come to such a statement that Allah, he made the horses run. This is what it says in Arabic. Allah, he made the horses run, and when he made them run, he made them run for a purpose, to sweat. And when they sweat, he created himself from the sweat of the horses.
What? It's really
yeah, this is what it says. This is what it says. Actually, well, this is what it says. I mean, this is not. And by the way, they might say to you, that this is Shia statement. No, this is not even Shia. This is Sunni. Because Al-Hanbali is the one who came with this. You know. Let me see if I can find you other reference.
Al-Hanbali. No, I never heard of that guy. This sounds interesting.
Yeah, it is. See, I'm trying just to find you like an official, not just a website.
Yes.
Okay, this is الموسوعة الميسرة في تراجم أئمة التفسير والإقراء والنحو واللغة. الموسوعة الميسرة, like I don't know what to translate for you. Like, you know, if you have like a dictionary, but it's like a huge one. You know, this is what موسوعة is. In all the official writing of the scholars and the imams. And here it says, in the book of As-Sifat, it says, he have a hadith. It says, إن الله لما أراد أن يخلق نفسه خلق الخيل فأجراها حتى عرقت ثم خلق نفسه من ذلك العرق. When Allah, he wanted to create himself, he created the horses, and then he made it run. فأجراها حتى عرقت, until it sweat really heavy. And then he created himself from the sweat of that horses.
Yes. But but it's then obvious that most Muslims, if not all, will reject this hadith because it doesn't go hand in hand with the Quran.
No, actually, it does go. It goes hand by hand with the Quran. Why it doesn't go by? Let me. Okay, you see, where in the Quran it says that Allah, he did not create it himself? Nowhere.
He begets not, and nor is he begotten.
Well, hold on. The hadith we showed you just a while ago, I don't know for how long you were watching, and we said that Allah,
I apologize.
he comes. It's all right, no problem, my friend. I welcome you. You are a very polite man, and you are welcome always to call me. The hadith, this is Sahih Bukhari.
Yes.
Sahih Bukhari is not a joke, correct? This is the most accurate reference. So let us say this hadith there is rejected. Okay, no problem. What about here? Allah, he have a shape, and Allah, he changed his shape. So the second you say he have a shape and then he have other shape, that's mean somebody created that shape. Correct?
Correct.
Let us say, okay, Allah have a shape already now, but now you are saying to me that Allah will come to them in a shape other than they know. and he will say. So this is totally different shape. Okay, who is the one who created this shape? What do you think?
Allah.
Okay, so Allah created Allah.
If you, of course not.
Oh, but this is what it says. You are the one. I ask you, my friend. I asked you, who is the one who created that shape? But that shape is Allah.
But what if that shape was there all along? If it,
No. What that means there's two Allah. If that shape is Allah and the other shape is Allah, that means there's many Allah.
Yeah, this really this is the first time I'm hearing.
But always there is first time with the Christian prince. No, the reason is, and I hope you are listening carefully. The reason you, as a Muslim, you always says, "I never." This is the first time I hear this, because when you read, you don't think deeply. You just read. And by the way, not only Muslims do that, even Christians. Most of people they don't really think deeply. Like if I give you this hadith by itself, I'm sure you heard me saying that this hadith before, didn't you? No,
you saying this hadith
before? You never heard me speaking about this hadith here? Not the horse, this one, the shape of Allah.
I missed it.
Huh?
Probably I missed. Maybe I missed it.
Okay, so if Allah, he is coming to you with a shape, and now he is going to change his shape, who is the one who will give him the second shape? Either we say he borrow it or he bought it from somewhere, from Amazon.com, or he made it. Yeah.
Yes.
Where he get it from? So the only solution, the best solution will be Allah, he created the shape, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, that's mean Allah created himself, because now he is that shape. He is that shape. Allah, he don't have a spirit. Allah is not a spirit. So that shape is Allah. Allah created the new shape. Allah created the new Allah. So what we would do now? So we rejected the hadith about the horse, correct?
Yeah.
Because Allah created himself from the sweat of the horses, which I find it me myself is very weird. I mean, what and why horses? What about donkeys?
Camels.
Yeah, you Muslims are funny sometimes. But look at this. Here, this is they cannot deny this hadith. This is Sahih al-Bukhari that show the reference. And nobody can deny even for a second that this is a very accurate hadith. What they will say? I'm lying?
No.
And this appears in many places, not only in this hadith. Tons. So this is a very accurate hadith, confirming that Allah have shape number 1 and he has shape number 2. And when I ask you, okay, when Allah come with different shape, who is the one who created the other shape? You said Allah, correct?
Yeah.
So Allah created himself.
So Allah created this shape and then he turned into the shape that makes him creating himself.
Because you see, if Allah created a shape and he will come to you in that shape, if that shape is not Allah, now we have a problem. Because how he is that shape? You see, it says there, read carefully with me. Allah will come to them in a shape they know and will say. So he is in a shape.
Yes.
Okay. So now he have a shape already, and now he will come to them in a shape they know, and he will say. So there is two shapes: shape they don't know, shape they know. And which way is very weird. I mean, what is the shape Muslims they know? This is very silly. As I know, there is no Muslim.
Maybe
so
in a power like thing.
No. It's a shape, my friend. Even the Quran says he was so. They will recognize him from his shin. You see, there's a hadith that says, and even the Quran says shin. So here Allah is coming in a new shape, other than the one which they know. That is a new creation of a new shape Allah will use. Who is the one who created that shape? Must be Allah. Allah created Allah. Okay, what happened now to the first shape, Muslim? You see, Allah, He come to them in other shape. Correct? That's what Hadith is saying.
Yes.
Okay. What happened to the shape before it?
Of course, He changed shape. It's not. I don't think it's like a physical thing.
No, Allah is a physical. No,
No,
my friend. Allah is a physical. No, Allah is a physical.
Yeah, but brother, just like energy changes form, it doesn't have to be someone going inside something.
Okay,
it's
first
just
of
like
all, let us
it changes.
First of all, let us come to an agreement. Are you saying Allah is not a physical being?
Something we can compare? Of course not.
No, Allah is a physical being. You can go and watch my debate with many scholars. All of them, they agree that Allah is a physical being. All the Muslims agree. Allah is a physical being and He have no spirit. Allah has no spirit. Actually, I just opened the fatwa here.
Yes.
You see, there's a guy, he's debating with the Christians like me, and he's asking if Allah has a spirit. He is debating with the Christians and is asking, does Allah has a spirit? Have a spirit? The answer, no. The answer, Allah, the spirit or soul is not one of the attributes of Allah. Rather, it is one of the things have been created by Allah. So Allah has no spirit. Okay. So if Allah is not spirit, He is not a physical being. So what He is? That means He does not exist because nothing left. You have no other options. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get.
Okay,
yeah, I get
so
you.
He is not a spirit, and now what is left? He's a physical being. Okay, so now He's a physical being, and now Allah creating a new shape of that physical being. Who is the one who created the physical being? Allah. Allah. Okay, what Allah He did to the first physical being? He killed him? He burned him? Or now we have to Allah?
He made it disappear. Just go.
So Allah He made
Like this.
Allah He made Allah disappear?
No, not like that. Not like that.
No, it have to be like that because let me try to explain it to you. Let us do this. Look with me in the screen. I'm going to draw something, and forgive me, my drawing is not I'm not an artist.
Same
Okay, so let us say I'm not going to make any shape to make fun of your God. Let us say
No, I don't.
Okay, here we go. I will make this is Allah. Three angle. Okay, this is Allah, and now we have shape here, shape A and shape B. All right.
Yes.
So this is shape number A, and this is shape number B. Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. When Allah He was shape number A, shape A is Allah. He is Allah. He's not inside the shape, because to say He was inside the shape, that's mean He is a spirit maybe. But we discover He is not a spirit. So He is the shape. He is a physical being. So this physical being here, that shape is Allah, which is without spirit. There's no spirit inside this shape. Okay. Now Allah, He transformed Himself, or He come in a new shape.
Yes. Bro, can I ask you something real quick in between?
Okay.
So, when you were debating the scholars and stuff, did they actually agree that Allah was a spirit?
Absolutely. You can search for my debate with Dr. Nabil Baikli as an example. Dr. Nabil Baikli, the head of the Islamic Center of Tennessee, is a Sunni. He's a Sunni. And Imam of the Mosque of Tennessee, his name is Imam Malik Sar. Both of them, they were debating me. And they said clearly with the clear words, we can find the video. They said Allah is a physical being. But how Allah look like, we don't know. Dr. Ruhi have a PhD from Al-Azhar. Huh?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, this is what it is. This is what it is, my friend. It's not up to you, up to me. This is what it is. This is what it is. So Allah, the physical being now. Okay. So Allah, He come to you in a new physical being. So what happened to the old physical being? If we say that the old physical being, as you said, making disappear, that's mean Allah, He made Allah disappear. So what happened?
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense in Islam. You see, the Muslim, they say how God can be a man, right? Okay, how Allah can have shape? Why he have a shape anyway? As long as you are questioning, as long as you are questioning the nature of God.
Allah has a shape.
Hmm?
Yes. Oh yeah, go ahead, bro. I was just saying I don't agree from my point of view that Allah is actually a physical thing, or
it's not
maybe
up to
even
you. My friend, it's not up to you. It's not up to me. You see, I'm sharing with you what Islam is, not my wishes or your wishes.
Yes.
This is Islam. Either you take it or you leave it. The same as you say Jesus is God. He's a man and God at the same time. It's not up to you to say he was not a man. It's not up to me to say he's a man and God in the same time. This is what we believe. This is Christianity. Either we take it or we leave it. So
yes.
This is what Islam teaching. The Muslims here, even in the hadith, which make it more dangerous, the statement of Muhammad here, he made it clear that because Allah he changed his shape, you rejected him. You see, then Allah will come to them in the shape they know, and they will say, he will say, I'm your Lord. Then they will say, you are our Lord. But before, when he come to them in a shape which they do not know, other than the one they know, he will say, I am your Lord. They will say, we seek refuge with Allah from you, which means not only they reject him, they believe he is the devil. Yeah, because when you say, you as a Muslim, when you say I seek refuge by Allah from you, that means shaitan in you talking to me, correct? We seek refuge by Allah from who? From Satan, not from a human.
Yes.
And the Quran confirmed that. So Allah coming to them and they say to him, you are shaitan. We seek refuge by Allah from you. All what happened is just he changed his shape. So the Muslims cannot recognize Allah for being Allah. The Muslims, they can recognize Allah for being in a shape which they like. And what kind of God this God is? Customer service, you know, this is AT&T. What kind of shape you like us to send you at the modem? We have a triangle modem, we have a square modem, we have, what do you want, brother? You know, and say, I don't believe that internet can come from a circle modem. I want a triangle modem. So now they will send you a modem in the way you like. This is Allah. How this can be true? Do you know, somebody he just gave me an idea. Do you think Allah he was like he printed himself in a 3D printer?
No.
So where the shape is coming from?
And but if I got a question, do you also accept that let's say when God was talking to Moses and the Israelites, did he also came in a shape of form? When he was talking to them,
yes, the Quran actually
the Israelites were afraid.
Okay, you just remind me actually to talk about that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, if we go in the Quran, we remember that Moses he saw a fire from far away. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. What the Quran says? The Quran says, "Buraka man fi an-nar wa man hawlaha." I don't know if you understand what I just said.
Of course not.
Okay, let us show you the translation then. In chapter 27, verse number 8, it says, talking about Moses. Okay, Moses, he was away. You see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. When Moses said to his household, his family, verily I have seen a fire. So he was in the dark at night, he saw a fire. I will bring you from there some information, which means I will bring you a fire, or I will bring you a burning brand, okay, to warm yourself. But when he come to it what? The fire, right? Okay. He was cold. Blessed is who is ever is in the fire.
But when he was blessed was
who is in the fire?
I will bring you from.
Is that the burning? Is that the burning Allah?
No, but it doesn't say Allah was in the fire.
Okay, who is the one in the fire?
I have seen a fire. I will bring you from there some information, or I will bring you a burning brand that you may warm yourselves.
So, who is the one blessed? The blessed one in the fire. God is blessed. Okay. So now, who is the one in the fire? Then he is blessed. The one is around the fire is Moses. The one is in the fire is who? The sound says to you, who is he? He said, O Moses, verily it is Allah.
O Moses, verily it is Allah, the Almighty, the Always.
So who is the one in the fire? Allah. Okay, is the fire is a physical being in this case? Fire.
What if Allah was third person in here?
Huh?
And he just showed him what if Allah was the third person in here and he showed Moses the bush fire, and then he was just talking to Moses, but that doesn't mean he had to be in the fire to talk to Moses.
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, no problem. I will go with you. I will go with you. When Allah he spoke from where?
From Allah's everywhere.
No.
And nowhere, from whatever.
No. Islam does not believe Allah is everywhere. That's not true.